don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter, hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that.
That lawnmower, that's that.
Gervonta does have a very athletic speed, quick reflex style, so you've got to sort of pressure intelligently. But while I have said in the past, and I still believe this, that Roach doesn't have that special thing, like where he's got really fast hands or really powerful.
Lamont Roach seems to be in panic mode after intense new training footage of Gervonta Davis surfaced ahead of their rematch. Roach admitted that after watching the clips, he knows he'll have to push himself harder this time and train with more intensity. He acknowledged that Gervonta looked impressive that night, still a dangerous fighter, and landed the hardest punch of their first fight.
How many rematches have you fought?
0.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen?
That's a good question. It's going to be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder. If that didn't give me the win, and I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not going to lie, I have room.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think he got some more gears?
100% for a fact. I think he might have some more gears, but I fought the best Gervonta that night. I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter, hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that. Don't think because of what I did, y'all think y'all can just go in there and think y'all can have the same night, you know what I'm saying, or do the same thing. He still will go upside your head and crack you, and you know what I'm saying, you might end up on the floor. Everybody not built the same. And that's what people get messed up. He did a whole lot of things that was good in that fight. A whole lot. And I'm telling you right now, if he wasn't as good of a fighter as he was, that would have been, you know what I'm saying? I would have steamrolled. Don't get that misconstrued. He's still the guy he is. It's just he ran into a guy that's on the same level.
Gervonta Davis is training hard for the rematch, determined to silence the critics and prove he's still one of the best, focused and disciplined. He's pushing himself more than ever to correct past mistakes and deliver a dominant performance that removes any doubt about who's better in the ring.
Hold on to the bed. That lawnmower, that's that. Start that motherfucker lawnmower.
I made the decision to train in DC because, you know, I haven't been in the coldness in a minute. I haven't even trained in the coldness in a minute, so I feel though this will help me. I'm from Baltimore, he's not from DC. That's what I learned. I thought he was from DC too.
Gervonta Davis isn't taking any risks this time. His training camp is all about business, and footage shows him gliding smoothly during sparring. His footwork is sharp, his movement is calculated, and his reflexes are on point. He's not just going through motions, he's training with purpose. With the rematch near, Davis knows he can't afford mistakes. The last fight taught him not to underestimate Roach, so now he's pushing himself harder than ever. Beyond skill, Davis is also showing raw intensity in one clip. He's hammering the sandbag with explosive power, every punch thrown with serious intent. It's clear this isn't routine, it's personal. The first fight ended with too many questions and criticism. Davis is training like a man who doesn't just want to win, he wants to dominate. He's aiming to make this rematch decisive, and his preparation shows how hungry he is. Renowned boxing analyst Teddy Atlas has praised Davis's unique skill set. He respects Davis's calmness in the ring, never rushing or forcing punches. Instead, Davis reads his opponent and strikes with precision. Atlas says Davis's true strength His adaptability, he can fight inside, outside, and mid-range and has knockout power to end fights anytime. This unpredictability makes him very hard to prepare for when focused. Davis is one of boxing's most complete fighters.
He's going to try to get to us, but we're going to frustrate him. He doesn't get frustrated. He takes his time. He's deliberate. You know, a lot of times at the beginning, people thought he was just a seek and destroy missile. They thought he was just a guy that got to you. And they thought that he would get over anxious. He don't get over anxious. He takes his time. He slowly crosses, closes those gaps. You know, inch by inch, step by step, and then he gets to you.
Despite the controversial draw in Davis's first fight with Roach, Rolando Romero still believes in Tank's abilities. He says Davis is a pound-for-pound elite fighter and calls the result just a bad night. Romero stressed that one tough fight doesn't erase everything Davis has achieved. To him, Davis's skills and knockout power still stand above the rest with the rematch ahead. Romero is confident Davis will bounce back and show why he's still one of the best in the sport today.
That people want to discredit Tank, he's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a off night with Cruz. Everyone has a night. It's boxing.
You want to run that back with Cruz or what?
Maybe down the line.
One thing that clearly separates Gervonta Davis from many other fighters is his knockout power. Unlike those who rely only on output or technique, Davis can end a fight with one clean shot. Observers say he doesn't force it, his power becomes deadly once he finds his rhythm. On the other hand, Lamont Roach showed good technical skill and control in the first fight, but he lacks the explosive finish that Davis has. Many believe that once Davis settles and during the rematch, his power and pressure could be too much for Roach, possibly ending it early.
Push back because Gervonta Davis is a puncher. So the extra aggression, you have to manipulate it little by little. You know, you have to instigate the extra aggression little by little. You have to get your timing in there. You have to get
my pushback.
And also, this is a southpaw. A southpaw sometimes takes a round or two extra to sort of get their timing, get your distances, because every southpaw is a little bit different. Right now, granted, they know each other, they fought in the amateurs, but it's still a lot of years away. And Gervonta does have a very athletic speed, quick reflex style. So you've got to sort of pressure intelligently. But while I have said in the past, and I still believe this, that Roach doesn't have that special thing, like what he's got really fast hands or a really powerful punch, he still has what I also said in the past, a very good IQ. He's very well trained and very intelligent. His thought process in the ring has a great sense of positioning and a great sense of understanding of where he is in the ring and how to react off that. Could he be a little aggressive, more aggressive? Sure, but you got to keep in mind that you're fighting a puncher who's coming from the southpaw stance and coming from the southpaw athletic angle. Personally, me, especially knowing what has been said about Gervonta behind the scenes for years that nobody brings out, and it kind of brings to light why they keep matching him with 15 and 20 to 1 underdogs. There is a rumor that behind the scenes, the Gervonta, there's a lot of bitch in him. There's a lot of front runner in him. If you push him, he will break, he will fold. It starts to add up because Lamont is from the D.C. area. They kind of know this. They grew up around him. They fought in the amateurs.
His father, who's his coach, has coached Gervonta in fights.
So that thing sort of comes to light where it's been held back from the public with the limited opposition level that Gervonta's fought most of his career.
Boxer Jaron Ennis gave his thoughts on the fight, saying Davis didn't dominate, but his early rounds were strong. He reminded fans that Davis landed clean shots and controlled the pace early. Ennis said the first fight led to more talk about Davis's image than his performance. This rematch is Davis's chance to silence critics and prove why he's still elite. For Gervonta, this fight with Roach is more than payback, it's personal. That draw hurt his pride and brought doubts. Davis knows his reputation took a hit, and now he's training harder than ever to erase it.
You know I gotta ask you about fights. Gervonta Davis draw with Lamont Roach. People looking at it as controversial because of the whole knee. What'd you think of the fight?
It was a great fight, you know. I had it 7-5 Tank, or you can make it the draw, but I feel like Lamont, he did good. He did a great job, actually. You know, I just don't think he did enough to pull it off. You know, and I feel like people was overlooking what Tank was doing in the first like 5-6 rounds. You know, he was like boxing and frustrating him a little bit. You know, but Lamont, like I said before, Lamont did a great job. You know.
Yeah, some people had it Tank, some people had it draw, some people had it Lamont. Do you think Tank gets a lot of criticism for not knocking Lamont out and Lamont not being in big names, so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knocking him out, he probably feel as though that he lost and he didn't, or it was a draw. You know, I feel like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning, moving a little bit too much, but I feel like he was still like frustrating him and things like that. And I think Tank did a good job. Like, he looked sharp than me. And I don't know, people just be talking. You know, at the end of the day, you can't please everybody.
Davis isn't just looking to beat Roach, he wants to dominate, send a clear message, and take back the respect he feels was lost. This rematch is about legacy, redemption, and proving he still belongs at the top.
We gotta talk about it. So Tank officially came out and says that he wants to put this rematch as early as May. Now, if that were to happen, Lamont Roach gets a second time to prove himself. Now, in my personal opinion, his stock has already risen. He is already notable. The fact that he went toe-to-toe with Tank on a decision that ended in a draw, whether he loses this second fight or not won't even matter. Because he's directly in line to go against the Keyshawn Davis, the Shakur Stevensons, and etc., the Devin Haneys, and etc. I can see him moving up and going against Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia or somebody like that. So many people to fight. Lamont Roach has definitely proven himself. But let's talk about something else. And that is the hairstylist situation. In my humble opinion, I believe she should have been quiet. As a hairstylist, there was nothing for you to say. There was nothing for you to say. No fan in boxing was going to look at that like, I don't want her braiding my hair. No one would have said that. But she hurt herself when she came out and publicly made multiple claims on all his receipts that no one needed, no one asked for, saying, oh, this had no grease or oil in it. No one cares. No one cares. Nobody even believes it. Sometimes it's best to remain quiet. But you guys let me know in the comments. Should she have remained quiet, or should she have did what she did, which is spoke up? You let me know.
After the first fight, Teofimo Lopez pointed out that Davis seemed abandoned by some in the boxing world. The draw raised doubts, and people questioned if Davis had lost his edge. Lopez said Davis is now fighting not just Roach, but public opinion. 2. This rematch is a chance for Davis to rise above that doubt and win back his place in the spotlight.
I know a lot of people, look what they did with Gervonta too. I want everybody, all these young fighters that are listening to this, and you could clip this. It's a short part right here.
I got you.
To Ryan could clip this right here. To all you young fighters, look at the amount of love they were giving and sharing to Gervonta Tank Davis prior to the fight. Look at what all the reporters were doing prior to the fight. Look how they were all laughing at all his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting to down this man. Down him. See, I'm gonna talk my smack with Tank, but that's because I want to fight him. That's me. I can say that. But I just want all you young fighters to really look about it. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They won't ever care about us. When you winning, they're gonna be there. But they waiting for any moment to slip up. Just a man, even a draw, look how much hate he got out of it.
Yeah, not to get deep, but you know, it's a part of our psychology. We have to learn how to care about other people. You know what I mean?
The first bout with Roach turned out to be one of Davis's toughest fights. Roach didn't just survive, he competed at a high level and gave Davis problems he hadn't faced before. Fans saw Davis struggle with Roach's timing and distance. This rematch will show if Davis can adjust or if Roach has his number. Either way, it's a test of growth and toughness.
Most notably, I'll just speak about a fight that we just had with Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. My message to Tank after that fight, it was giving a draw. A lot of controversy around Tank taking a knee due to hair band in his face or his eyes, so when he saw him burn his eyes. And, in my opinion, it was a competitive fight. The judges judged it as a draw. A lot of people saying it was rigged, all these different things, whatever it may be. The fight is over.
Davis's trainer revealed that they went into the first fight knowing how good Roach was. Their strategy was intentional, even if it didn't work as planned. Surprisingly, they might not change much this time, they just want to execute it better. That shows they still trust the original plan. It just needs to be sharper and more focused.
Surprised by Roach and Tank. What do you think the biggest surprise was in the fight?
It wasn't a surprise because we know Roach. It wasn't a surprise. Roach can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, they don't exist. There's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity, you know?
Speaking of rematches, Jalil Hackett is getting his opportunity again to fight the guy that he had a controversial loss to. It'll be happening in Florida, I think, next week?
March 15th, I think.
Let's talk about
I'm rocking a major shirt now.
Major.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, how's that rematch look like, and then what's the difference makers coming into this fight?
The first fight, I thought, everybody thought Jalil won. You just got to hit the gears a little harder. We ain't really got to change too much. Just got to put the icing on the cake, Put the icing on the cake this time, that's all. He did enough to win the last fight, but we was in somebody else's territory,
This time around, being in Florida, do you feel like it's a mutual zone?
Yeah. It's more of an even playing field in Florida.
Okay. Do you feel like he needs a stoppage to win the fight due to what happened the first time?
Not necessarily a stoppage. A stoppage is good, but not necessarily.
Henry Garcia shared a different view, saying Davis might have been mentally distracted in the first fight. Without his longtime trainer Calvin Ford, Davis's rhythm may have been off. Garcia also hinted that personal issues may have affected his focus for the rematch. Everything mind and body needs to be in sync for Davis to get back to his best.
There's no way you could say Tank won. There's no way.
Do you think that he's diminished in some way, or do you think that just mentally he just wasn't there for the fight?
Well, a little bit of both. His age is catching up to him. His legs aren't there as he used to be. And, he switched his trainer, That's could be another factor.
With Barry Hunter being the head trainer and Coach Calvin being outside.
Yeah, but he snapped at Calvin too. So that's, there was something going on. I really don't know, and I couldn't really speculate on that because I don't know. But I know that something was bothering Tank because Tank is a good fighter and he's out to hurt you, But hey, Lamont Roach stood his ground, and he did a great job.
One of the most talked about moments was when Davis went down on one knee in round 9, and the ref didn't call it a knockdown. That moment has been debated, with many saying it should have changed the score. The controversy added fuel to this rematch. Fans and experts now want a clear result, no drama, no doubt, just closure.
All right, man. Listen, it's been a couple of days since that Lamont Roach versus Gervonta Tank Davis fight, and look, you fooled me once, okay? I'm gonna let y'all get that. Y'all got that. But come on, man. This was a money fight, clearly, and also clearly Tank lost. I mean, there's no mistaken identity that Roach landed more punches, Tank had a higher percentage, but when we look at the punches and the punching power, it was Lamont Roach 8 rounds to 4. And then if you take into consideration that Tank took that knee, which count as a knockdown, the ref even started counting. I mean, there's nothing even to debate here. If they were tied without them even counting that, if you supposed to have counted that part, he would have actually lost the fight. It's a win for Lamont Roach. Get your bag, go out there and say you the only person that tied with Tank Davis. But man, if y'all fight, y'all better fight for real, because this, be real, man.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.